bless your heart.
Y'all, we are in sad times, okay? The technology boom has brought us wonderful advancements, right? And in some ways, our kids are way smarter than we ever were at their age, right? But there are definitely some things that are being overlooked or being pushed to the side because they're no longer useful or necessary, that are really, really causing problems, not just in one area of education or of knowledge, but in all areas of education and knowledge. So let's take a look, because there actually was a teacher, a music teacher specifically, who wanted to point out how these issues of specifically our children being unable to read are now affecting her ability to even teach music. So that means not only can they not read, but they don't know their alphabet. So therefore, and this is wild, they could not, even though you just tell them, hey, listen, all the letters are from A to G. That's it. You just label it straight. They can't do it. Wildly. And this woman, who is a music educator, she talks about it on her TikTok, and this went viral. So we're going to listen to it, okay? She's saying these are 8th graders, and because they don't know the alphabet, they know that it's supposed to be the alphabet, but because they don't know the alphabet, they're just making things up and putting in random symbols because they honestly don't know what the letters are. She could not believe, and a lot of educators are saying the same thing. They can't believe it could possibly be this bad. There's no way our 8th graders, there's no way our youth are like this illiterate. There's just no way. So let's take a listen to the video. Now, what's important about this also, and I'm glad that we're going to talk about this, is because a lot of people think, I want to do something more artsy. For example, music would be one of them, right? I don't need all of this other stuff. I don't need the core concepts. I don't need English and math, and I don't need all of that. But this is actually going to illustrate why all those things are actually connected, and we do need all of them. But let's take a listen.
Our students cannot read at grade level. As a music teacher, I didn't really think I had a whole lot to add to this conversation, but I don't think a lot of y'all understand how much this is affecting them in every single course that they're taking, not just the ones where they're having to write and read passages like science and math and reading courses, but it's affecting them in every aspect of their schooling. I'm going to put up a chart of a music staff so that you can see what exactly I'm talking about, because I have a story about this past year and some of the struggles that I saw in my band hall with kids that did not know how to read at their grade level. Every year that I've ever taught band, at the beginning of the year, when you're dealing with beginner musicians, the first thing that you do is teach them how to read notes on a music staff. So if you've never had any experience in a music class or learning how to read music, this is how it works. There is a series of lines and spaces on a staff, and each line and space is assigned a note name. And as you can see, they're in alphabetical order going up the staff in line space order. So if you start at this space on the treble clef staff, it starts on A and it goes up to G above the staff. It keeps going A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And as you can see on the bass clef staff, if you start at A and then repeat the cycle backwards, it starts at G and then goes all the way down to A. And usually what I see in my classes when students are having a hard time identifying the note names on the staff, most of the time these issues have to deal with them not understanding that there's a line space alternating order. Right. So they'll often try to like label all the lines in alphabetical order. So they'll do like A, B, C, D, E, et cetera, or they'll start the process on the wrong line or the wrong space, or they won't know exactly which space is A. But this past year, it was different. So what I was noticing this past year with my students is they weren't just having those typical issues that you would have to work through. A lot of these kids would not even use alphabet symbols. They would be making up symbols. They would not even know how to write A, B, C, D, E, F, G on their piece of paper. They wouldn't know how to form those letters.
Like, I want you to stop and think that 8th graders do not know the alphabet. But even if you told them A, they don't know what an A looks like. They don't know what the alphabet symbols look like. And not that, even if they're putting in the wrong ones, at least they're recognizable as the alphabet. Yeah, you see when like took out cursive writing, for example, because you're like, oh, that's so useless. You don't need cursive writing. No, like you don't need to know how to properly print. You don't need to know. You sure? You sure we don't need to know? You sure? You sure? You had that one right, guys? You sure?
Letters. They would also have issues not knowing alphabetical order in general. So if they knew how to write A, B, C, D, E, F, G, they couldn't answer to me what letter would come after C in the alphabet. And I would ask them things like that specifically. What comes after C in the alphabet? They couldn't answer it. And I'm not just talking 1 or 2 kids in the class. I'm talking closer to 50%. And we're not also just talking about 6th graders. We're talking about 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, kids that are about to go into high school. And did it make the job of teaching kids how to read music harder? Yes, but I think the reason why I'm wanting to point this out specifically is that a lot of teachers in middle school grades or upper level grades before you get into high school aren't necessarily dealing with skills that require you to go back to those remedial basics like the alphabet or drawing letters. But in music class, we literally work with the alphabet every single day. We only work with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 7 letters of the alphabet. And a lot of these kids do not know the first 7 letters of their alphabet or what order they go in. So I can only imagine how they are having issues reading and writing when they can't even identify the first 7 letters of the alphabet. It is a crisis.
It is.
Before you say, well, maybe you're just not teaching the concept good enough for them to understand that they need to use the alphabet. I would see a correlation most of the time between the kids that were having those issues that I discussed and the ones that could not complete a writing assignment in music class, which I did have them write things out a lot. And oftentimes the same kids that could not identify their alphabet or write things in alphabetical order also could not write passages on their own that were legible and readable.
Now, the worst part about this is she is not the first or the only educator to express concerns on TikTok over their students' ability to perform at grade level, right? I mean, just last month, this also did go viral, right? Where a TikTok user was claiming that many of their 7th graders can't read, like at all, just can't read. In the comments section, many viewers expressed disbelief over the music teacher's claims, like, oh, I'm trying to fathom how they could possibly even be this bad. 8th graders that don't know their ABCs? I don't know, did you sing your ABCs to them? Because I fail to even understand. I fail to understand how parents and early childhood educators are failing this badly together. I say a lot of teachers are sharing similar experiences with their pupils struggling with this basic skills. 9th grade honors kids in a good school can't write their last names, one viewer shared. 7th grade math teacher here, another said, many of my students couldn't tell me how many quarters are in 75 cents or in $1. Do you see the problem? No, y'all don't see it. Y'all don't see it. Y'all know what homework was for. It wasn't to torture you, to make your life more boring, or to keep you out of your parents' hair. It's because practice is how you learn things, okay? Just simply staring at something, or just having someone regurgitate information on top of you as you listen is not the way you learn things. You learn things by practicing them. Yeah. The problem is that we are no longer in a society where we are required to basically write anything ourselves, let alone we don't even have to text message our friends, right? We just voice to text everything. Don't have to spell your own name. Everything auto-populates for you. You've been registered everywhere since you were born, pretty much, right? Knowing numbers. Why would you have to know how many quarters are in a dollar? Have you ever even seen a quarter? Probably not. When was the last time you used money? Right? When was the last time you had to calculate anything? Everything gets automatically done for you, right? And we have done nothing to compensate for these skills. And the way that we are chasing technological skills and praising that, right? What we need to do also is remember that core basics matter, and that somehow or another, while we are trying to teach kids to be successful in the modern era, we have to teach them how to do the basics. There's no way they can be successful in the modern era. There's just no way. You can't be a computer scientist if you don't know how many quarters go into a dollar. I'm not even kidding. There's no way. If you can't just do basic mathematics, if you can't recognize letters, how are you going to program anything? I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think, though. Hey, maybe I'm just an old fuddy-duddy. Right? Do we need to know our ABCs anymore? Do we need to know our 1, 2, 3s anymore? Do we need to know mathematics, basic spelling, how to sign our own names? Is that all just, that's hogwash. Throw that all away. It's just a waste of energy and time. That's just the man trying to hold this down. Y'all let me know what you think, because I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm just out of date.
Bless your heart.